Okay, this is Classical Conversations, Cycle 3, Week 22, History Sentence. Tell me about September 11th, 2001. Now, this is going to be a harder sentence for many of us because it's a lot nearer and dearer to our hearts because it's a war that we actually have all gone through together, and many of us have seen firsthand, and many were lost on that day. Many of us remember that day, still very fresh in our minds, and my heart goes out to all those of you who may have experienced loss on that day or in the wake of that day as the war on terror progressed from there. I know my husband's serving a tour in Iraq, and many families have served and have paid a high price in this war. So anyhow, I just want to first give my appreciation for that to all those families who have given way beyond even what my family's had to give. My husband did one tour, and that's nothing compared to what most of our service members did. So anyhow, that said, this is a more solemn sentence, of course, so it's a little harder to have fun with this one. So anyhow, in the song, I think, does a good job of paying tribute to it. I started tearing up as I went through it the first time. But anyhow, so this one's on September 11th, 2001, and it's pretty slow, so you can kind of do a lot of motions in there. So anyhow, on September 11th, so for September, it kind of starts off like with just some music, so you can kind of just sit there and just kind of sway to the music if you want, just reflecting on and thinking about September 11th, if that's something that your kids were old enough to have remembered or to experience anything since then. Just kind of thinking about those who lost their lives that day and the many since. So anyhow, so you can kind of do that, and then that actually flows into September. For September, I was going to kind of like I'm shivering for September. So for September 11th, and then I'll just hold up my two fingers for 11th, and of course that's very symbolic too for that day. But September 11th, 2000, you can just re-emphasize these two fingers for the 2000 if you want. 2001, okay, and just put your other one down. The World Trade Center, so you can kind of just do this for the world. The World Trade Center for trade. This is a motion that's done a lot of times in the timeline motions. On the official ones on CC Connected for trade, like you're, giving something and taking something back and forth. Trade Center, and I'm just going to bring my hands together in the center here, kind of like I'm praying, just in the center. Again, that kind of fits the tone of this one. So the center in New York City, and then I'll just raise my arm up like I'm holding the torch, like Lady Liberty. Okay, that's something that I think most people are familiar with or will become familiar with if a symbol of New York City is just Lady Liberty. So holding my torch up. New York City was destroyed. So I'm just going to bring my arm down and like chop across another line, like making an X. Was destroyed. Okay, destroyed by Muslim. Muslim, I hear slim in there. So I'm just going to take my two arms from here and just kind of like I'm tracing a really slim figure or something, okay? Muslim. Terrorists, and for terrorists, okay, of course you hear terror in there. So I'm just going to be like, I'm scared. Terrorists, okay? Terrorists, beginning America's war, and you can just put your heart over your chest for America's war, and I'll kind of do this the normal ASL sign for war, kind of that going back and forth, two sides going back and forth in war on terrorism, and I'm just going to kind of do that again for terrorism, okay? And again, that can be just kind of a moment of reflection too, just, of what this sentence is dealing with, what it's talking about. But anyhow, so I'm going to go ahead and run through it with the song.
On September 11th, 2001, the World Trade Center in New York City was destroyed by Muslim terrorists, beginning America's war on terrorism. On September 11, 2001, City was destroyed by Muslim terrorists, beginning America's war on terrorism.
Okay, and that's that. So have a great week.